How was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Hello everyone, I'm Jennifer Kumar from Authentic Journeys. In a previous video on small talk topics, we talked about how to wish someone on a Friday, before the weekend actually starts, or as the weekend is just beginning. I'll link that video here. Now we're fast forwarding to Monday, the day that we all look forward to, right? Being sarcastic there. We mostly dread Mondays, but we can wish people on Monday and ask them about their weekend. So how can we do that with our American colleagues? So, I'm not that familiar with how people say this in India because maybe I'm not going to the same office regularly, or I don't have the same colleagues because I run my own business and I don't really have any employees. So you can help me out with that, people in India. Let me know if these greetings are the same or said in the same way with the same phrases in English. So the first one, sometimes people might say Happy Monday. This one can be tricky though because it can come off as sarcastic too. So I would tend to avoid that if you're on the phone because we don't know the tones yet. So we could start out on a Monday with hope you had a good weekend. This is a statement. So, you call the client, and let's say I'm your client. Hi, Jennifer. This is Mary from the Kochi office. How was your weekend? Like that. And then they would mention how their weekend was. If you had a conversation with them about what they were going to do last weekend and you wanted to follow up, that's perfectly fine. In fact, that's normal and natural. You would do that with your colleagues in your office as well. So let's say on Friday you said, oh, so do you have anything fun planned for the weekend? And they said, oh, yeah, I'm going to the beach. So then when you call them on Monday, hi, Mary, this is Jennifer from India. How was your weekend? Oh, yeah, it was fine. Oh, Mary, I remember that you mentioned you were going to the beach on Friday. You said you might do that on the weekend. Did you get to go to the beach? How was it? So you can build a conversation and get to know people like this. It can be a little bit scary for some people to do this. Plus, you have to remember, especially if you have a lot of team members, global team stakeholders, it might be hard to remember what everybody does. So I do suggest sometimes to take notes. It might sound a little creepy, but this has helped a lot of people. For instance, I'll give you an example. One of the people I was coaching, I gave this tip to them. And after 3 weeks, I called them back and asked, did you do it? And they're like, yes. I was really nervous at first to do this because I didn't know how they would respond. And I said, well, what happened? And he said, well, I was nervous to actually do it the first time because I didn't know what kind of response I would get or if I was saying it right or anything like that. And these are simple things, but yet cause a lot of anxiety in people. But then he said, I actually ended up learning a lot about my American colleagues, some really interesting things that he likes to do as hobbies, and also some things that Americans do that Indians don't really do. I said, oh, well, what was that? And he said, well, I asked him on Friday, what are you doing this, anything fun planned for the weekend? And he's like, well, I don't know if you would call this fun, but, I have to fix my toilet. It's been, leaking and everything. So, you're going to fix your toilet? Oh, that doesn't sound like a very interesting or fun thing to do on the weekend. And he said, no, but, I have time. So that's one thing I'm going to do. And then if I have time after that, I'm going to watch some movies or relax or things like that. So obviously he didn't talk about anything that he was doing with any particular person, but he did mention that he was what he might do in general. So on Monday, the person in India followed up. So hi, John, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing fine. So I remember from our conversation on Friday that you were going to fix your toilet. I found that kind of interesting because in India we tend to hire people to do our plumbing for us. And then John would go on by saying, oh yeah, we do that in the U.S. too, but it's really expensive. It's like $80 an hour, so I don't have that kind of money to spend. And so I did end up trying to fix it on my own. Person in India says, oh, so what happened? Oh, John says, yeah, actually, it went well. It was the first time I tried anything like this, so I had to get some help from some of my friends who knew how to do it. But we eventually fixed the toilet, and now it's working well, and I think I'm I think I feel pretty accomplished. So the person in India will say, oh, that sounds good. You know, maybe if I ever come to the U.S., you can teach me that too. So anyway, let's move on to our agenda for today. So when I was speaking to the person in India, his feedback to me was, you know, firstly, I was shocked that someone would fix their own toilet and not hire anyone to do it. But when I heard that he said it's $80 an hour, first I thought, well, isn't $80 not that much money in the U.S.? And then immediately he said, that's a lot of money for me. So then I knew that it was a lot of money for him. So actually, this has another lesson here, which is, you know, Americans don't tend to talk about how much things cost. Don't ask them directly how much it costs. But because John had actually brought it up on his own, then it was completely okay. But I wouldn't build on that topic, like say, oh, well, $80 is too much for you. Like, how much do you earn? No, don't ask that question. Please don't ask that question. You'll get in big trouble. So just keep it general and just keep it maybe to the other topics. So this has been Jennifer Kumar from Authentic Journeys, helping you to build that relationship with your American counterparts through talking about the weekend. What did you do last weekend? And building that relationship in a natural way, just like you might do with people in your office in India, but here you're doing it over the phone with Americans. If you'd like to get in touch with us, we do have a pretty extensive program on small talk, do's and don'ts, and teams enjoy this program. It can last from 2 to 8 hours. We do a lot of different activities, how to actually handle small talk in the face-to-face environment, the virtual phone call environment, and even email environment. Yes, email, very important to even make small talk in email too. So, excuse me. So thank you for listening to this video, and we'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.